terrifying because, you know, what you have in your imagination is sort of impossible.
What if I told you that the biggest book-to-movie adaptation of the year has turned into one of the most explosive Hollywood betrayals we've ever seen? A behind-the-scenes war, a shocking fallout, and a PR nightmare that no one saw coming. Buckle up, because this story is wild.
It happening so soon, and the fact that I'm...
For years, fans of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel, It Ends With Us, dreamed of seeing the story come to life on screen. And in 2019, that dream started becoming a reality when actor and director Justin Baldoni took on the project. Colleen wasn't just excited, she was all in. She raved about Justin, calling him the perfect choice to bring this emotional, powerful story to life. Fans adored him. He wasn't just directing the movie, he was a part of their community.
Due to the fact that she seems like a rather shitty person.
But Justin wasn't just another director for hire. He was passionate about the book's message and wanted to ensure that its raw, emotional impact wasn't lost in translation. He personally met with survivors of domestic violence to understand the real-life implications of the story, making sure every scene was handled with care and authenticity. He wanted to create something that wasn't just visually compelling, but something that resonated with people on a deeply personal level.
As they did the book such justice, that's what...
He wasn't just checking off Hollywood's adaptation checklist, he was crafting something meaningful.
She is accused of having turned the whole cast of It Ends With Us.
Colleen and Justin spent years fine-tuning the vision for this film. They hosted live discussions with fans, answered burning questions, and kept the audience engaged throughout the entire process. Every step of the journey was shared with the fans, creating a sense of ownership over the project. This wasn't just another Hollywood adaptation. This was a labor of love. Fans were thrilled when Justin was announced as the director. To them, he wasn't just an outsider adapting their favorite book. He was one of them. He understood the source material, and he genuinely cared about the integrity of the story. His engagement with the fandom, his transparency about the adaptation process, and his obvious dedication made him a beloved figure in the It Ends With Us community. The excitement was through the roof, but that excitement wouldn't last. Then came the bombshell. Blake Lively was cast as Lily, but instead of celebration, the internet erupted. Fans were furious. The main issue: Lily is supposed to be 23, and Blake, well, isn't. People called her too old for the role, and the backlash was brutal. Fans had envisioned a fresh-faced young actress who could capture Lily's youthful innocence. But Blake, despite her undeniable talent, didn't fit that vision. The controversy wasn't just about age. It was about how this casting choice affected the entire feel of the film. Would the story still hold the same impact if its main character was aged up?
Movies to reflect the books that we write, and so I think y'all are going to be very...
Would the emotional weight of Lily's journey remain intact? These were the questions flooding social media, and the reactions were anything but forgiving. And then, when set photos leaked in 2023, things got even worse. Fans hated her wardrobe, saying it made her look frumpy and completely unrecognizable as Lily. The backlash wasn't just about looks, it was about the essence of the character. Lily Bloom was supposed to represent resilience, youthful love, and emotional turmoil, but fans argued that Blake's portrayal seemed out of sync with the novel's core themes. The discussions became heated, with passionate fans taking sides, and some even speculating that this casting choice was more about Hollywood politics than artistic integrity.
Text messaging and so on that puts a totally different light on her horrific allegations than you see what she actually said.
Meanwhile, Blake seemed unfazed by the backlash, doubling down on her role and even subtly addressing the criticism in interviews. She claimed she had a deep connection to Lily's journey,
when it comes out
and
in
that she
August.
was determined to do
Blake,
the character
talk to me
justice.
about how this story found
But the
you,
skepticism
why it
didn't
resonates
fade.
with you, and why this
The
was a
growing
project that you
controversy
had to be a
surrounding
part
Blake
of.
wasn't
This
just about
book,
her.
I mean,
it was about how her
resonates
presence
with
might
so many
change
people.
the entire direction of the film. Would this adaptation truly honor It Ends With Us, or was it becoming something else entirely?
And so that's exciting. That's so exciting to take on a character that so many people have connected with.
For years, Justin and Colleen had built this movie together. But suddenly, Blake started pushing for creative control. According to reports, she demanded the right to edit her own cut of the film, something unheard of for an actress. When Sony resisted, she allegedly threatened to refuse to promote the movie. What had started as a passion project suddenly turned into a battle for dominance over creative decisions.
And it's also a huge responsibility, and it's slightly terrifying because, you know, what you have...
Justin had always been the visionary behind the project, ensuring that the story was told with authenticity and respect. But with Blake demanding control, tensions rose behind the scenes. Sources claim that she wanted to soften certain elements of the story, making it more commercial and digestible for mainstream audiences. Justin, on the other hand, fought to preserve the raw emotion of the novel, refusing to compromise the film's core message. This led to heated discussions, with insiders revealing that Blake was leveraging her industry influence to get her way.
So if you just hear the line, honestly, it doesn't sound like the...
And then, the most shocking betrayal of all, Colleen Hoover turned her back on Justin. She unfollowed him on Instagram after 5 years of unwavering support. Fans were left stunned. What had happened behind the scenes to make her switch sides? Was she influenced by Blake's power in Hollywood, or was there more to the story? The entire It Ends With Us community was left in disbelief, as the dream team they had trusted was now falling apart before their eyes.
She wrested his movie away from him and decided to...
With mounting pressure from Hollywood executives and an actress determined to have the final say, Justin found himself in an impossible position.
In your imagination,
would he cave to the demands and let the story be reshaped? Or would he stand his ground and risk losing everything? This was no longer just about a movie. It was a full-blown power struggle, and the stakes had never been higher.
Is sort of impossible to meet, and then everyone's imagination is slightly different. You know, so no matter how descriptive...
And here's where it all hit the fan. 2 versions of the movie were screened, Blake's cut and Justin's cut. And guess what? Justin's version crushed hers in audience ratings. But instead of sticking to their agreement, Sony caved to Blake's demands and let her version be the final cut. The test screenings revealed a stark contrast between the 2 versions of the film. Justin's cut stayed true to the raw and emotional depth of the novel, evoking powerful responses from fans who had been invested in the story for years. His version captured the essence of It Ends With Us, the pain, the trauma, and ultimately the resilience of the protagonist. It was a deeply moving portrayal of domestic violence and the strength it takes to break free from toxic cycles. On the other hand, Blake's version took a drastically different approach. It was softer, glossier, and according to many, lacked the emotional impact that made the book so compelling in the first place. Instead of confronting the harsh realities of Lily's journey, her edit leaned into romanticized visuals and surface-level storytelling, making it feel more like a conventional Hollywood romance rather than a harrowing, transformative narrative. Fans were outraged. The film's marketing took a bizarre turn, promoting it like a feel-good romance instead of a deeply emotional story about domestic violence. The official campaign emphasized floral aesthetics and friendship bonds, seemingly disregarding the book's heavier themes. Social media exploded with backlash, with longtime fans of the novel calling out the studio for watering down an important story. People were furious, saying Blake had turned a powerful narrative into a cheap marketing gimmick. And as for Justin, he was erased from the film's promotion entirely. His years of dedication, his emotional investment in the project, completely ignored. His name was barely mentioned in press releases, and his creative influence was buried under a PR strategy designed to push Blake as the film's central force.
She called herself Khaleesi and said Ryan Reynolds and we believe Taylor Swift were her dragon.
To make matters worse, insider reports suggested that Blake had actively worked to remove Justin from the conversation. Allegedly, she pushed for exclusive control over the movie's press and interviews, ensuring that she was the face of the adaptation. Meanwhile, Justin, who had fought tirelessly for this project, was left to watch as his vision was dismantled before his eyes. the entire situation felt like a calculated takeover. One that didn't just alienate him, but also divided the fan base in unprecedented ways. What should have been a triumphant moment for It Ends With Us was now a battleground for Hollywood power plays, manipulation, and betrayal. The biggest blow came when Colleen Hoover, who had once championed Justin and praised his dedication, remained silent. Fans speculated whether she had been pressured into choosing a side, or whether she had genuinely lost faith in his vision. Whatever the reason, her silence spoke volumes. As the film's premiere loomed, the controversy refused to die down. Would audiences accept Blake's version, or would they rally behind Justin, demanding justice for the cut they believed truly honored the book? One thing was clear. The battle for It Ends With Us was far from over.
Now, she and Taylor are reportedly on the outs because Taylor Swift is like, bitch, I'm nobody's dragon. That's
Hollywood politics play a massive role in projects like these. Power couples like Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have influence that extends far beyond the screen. Could their connections have swayed the studio's decision? Industry insiders suggest that this wasn't just about creative vision. It was about power, control, and money. The influence of A-list actors in Hollywood is no secret, and in the case of It Ends With Us, it seemed to play a decisive role. Blake Lively, with her decades of industry experience and high-profile marriage to Ryan Reynolds, carried a level of clout that few could challenge. Insiders claim that her leverage extended beyond her performance. Her connections, relationships with top executives, and industry alliances helped tilt the scales in her favor. It was no longer just about telling Lily Bloom's story authentically. It was about ensuring that she controlled the narrative.
see some evidence now that Blake Lively may have a history.
As the controversy surrounding the film intensified, whispers of backroom deals and under-the-table negotiations spread across Hollywood. Some suggested that Blake and Ryan had quietly worked to ensure her creative influence over the project was undisputed. Others believed that Sony, fearful of alienating one of Hollywood's most bankable stars, conceded to her demands out of caution rather than confidence in her vision. The reality? No one outside the industry's inner circle knows the full truth, but the power dynamics at play were undeniable. This level of control extends beyond It Ends With Us. Hollywood has seen its fair share of powerful stars exerting influence over productions, reshaping scripts, and even overriding directors. The industry often operates on an unspoken rule. Those with the most power, money, and influence dictate how projects unfold. In the case of It Ends With Us, fans weren't just witnessing a book adaptation gone wrong. They were watching Hollywood politics in action. The balance of power had shifted, and Justin Baldoni, once the face of the adaptation, was now an outsider looking in. The fallout from this situation highlighted a much bigger issue within Hollywood: the way creative control is distributed and how much leverage an actor can wield over a production. For Justin, this wasn't just about a film being altered. It was about integrity, creative honesty, and the betrayal of a project he had dedicated years of his life to. The more people looked into the controversy, the clearer it became. This was not just a creative disagreement. It was an industry power struggle, and Blake Lively had come out on top. But at what cost? The fans weren't going to let this slide. Outrage spilled across social media, with petitions demanding the release of Justin Baldoni's original cut. Facebook groups dedicated to Colleen Hoover turned into battlegrounds for heated debates. People who once worshipped Colleen and Blake were now questioning their integrity. What started as mild disappointment quickly snowballed into an all-out rebellion. Within days, Twitter was flooded with hashtags like Release the Baldoni Cut and Justice for Justin, as passionate fans took to social media to voice their frustration. Book lovers who had once eagerly anticipated the adaptation felt betrayed, accusing the studio of prioritizing Hollywood politics over the authenticity of the story. Reddit threads dissected every detail of the controversy, analyzing leaked information and insider reports, further fanning the flames of dissatisfaction. Meanwhile, petitions demanding that Sony Pictures release Justin's original cut began gaining traction. Within weeks, thousands of signatures poured in from readers who felt their beloved novel had been compromised beyond recognition. Fans weren't just upset, they were outraged. This was about more than just a movie. It was about artistic integrity, about honoring a story that had deeply impacted people's lives. The studio's decision to silence Justin and sideline his creative input felt like an injustice that needed to be corrected. The uproar wasn't limited to online spaces. Major entertainment outlets picked up the story, amplifying the controversy beyond social media. News segments debated whether Hollywood had once again sacrificed storytelling for marketability. Popular YouTubers and influencers joined the discussion, creating reaction videos and deep dives analyzing the feud between Justin, Blake, and Colleen. The backlash even made its way to live events, with fans attending red carpet premieres and press junkets holding signs demanding transparency. Colleen Hoover, once revered by her fanbase, now found herself at the center of the storm. Readers who had trusted her judgment felt betrayed by her silence. Why wasn't she speaking out? Had she been coerced into compliance, or had she genuinely changed her stance? The lack of clarification from Colleen only fueled more speculation, with theories ranging from studio pressure to a personal rift between her and Justin. The community that once celebrated her books now found itself divided, some defending her, while others accused her of abandoning the very readers who had built her career. As the outrage reached its peak, it became clear that this wasn't just another fleeting Hollywood scandal. This was a full-blown movement led by passionate fans who refused to be ignored. The pressure was mounting on Sony, on Blake, and on Colleen to address the controversy. But the question remained: would they listen, or would they double down on their decisions? One thing was for sure: the fans weren't backing down anytime soon. And now, this battle is heading to court. Justin Baldoni has officially filed a lawsuit, claiming he was pushed out through manipulation and threats. Blake and her legal team are hitting back, saying his claims are exaggerated. But legal analysts believe that if this case goes to trial, some explosive Hollywood secrets could be exposed. And now, this battle is heading to court. Justin Baldoni has officially filed a lawsuit, claiming he was pushed out through manipulation and threats. Blake and her legal team are hitting back, saying his claims are exaggerated. But legal analysts believe that if this case goes to trial, some explosive Hollywood secrets could be exposed. Now, we want to hear from you. Did Blake Lively and Colleen Hoover betray Justin Baldoni? Or was this just Hollywood business as usual? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because we're following this drama until the very end.